2021 SBLive Washington virtual media days continue to roll on with myself, Dan Dickow, and Andy Buhler. Again, virtually. Normally, we would be sitting in the same room chatting with one of my favorite coaches in the state from Skyview High School, Matt Gruhler, and his standout point guard, Squeeky Johnson. But we are making the best with what we have available due to the coronavirus. So, Coach Squeeky, thanks for joining. Coach, I'll start with you. Such a weird year. You guys are one of the pockets in the state that have gotten to early start and have played a number of games. What have you seen from your team so far?
Well, first of all, it's just awesome to be back on the floor. I mean, like you said, flexibility has just been the name of the game so far. It's just having to change what we do, constantly adapt. I've enjoyed our team. We've got a good group of kids who really work hard. Obviously led by a 4-year starter at point guard, or a 4-year varsity guy, a 3-year starter at point guard with Squeaky makes that a little bit easier. We jumped right into the thing where we played Union and Camas, arguably two of the best teams in our area, right in the second week. Played them both really close, losing by 1 at Camas and keeping losing to Union in a close matchup there. So it's been fun to just kind of see these guys compete. And when there was so much indecision on what was going to be happening, it was just awesome to be able to be out there with the guys.
Squeaky, Coach Gruhler mentioned you've been a 4-year varsity player. You've started for 3 of those years. That means you're probably an extension of Coach on the floor. So I would imagine during this long pause of 14 months or so, you've taken a leadership role in kind of leading the guys in the Skyview program. Has that been the case? And if so, what have you done to make sure guys are ready? So when Coach Gruhler finally had the ability to take the reins, you guys didn't skip a beat.
Just getting a lot of communication with the guys and letting them know that we're going to have to really focus this year. It's a lot of learning on the fly. And then with quarantine, there's no gyms open. So getting to any parks possible to play at, getting with each other to just try to build chemistry. And then so it's more focused on learning what Gruhler is teaching us than trying to develop a feel for each other on the court.
Squeaky, this will be the 3rd year I've covered you, and something that's been a through line ever since your sophomore year, and something that Coach Gruhler, it's one of the first things that comes out of his mouth. Your temperament on the court, no highs too high, no lows too low. You play with such a cool confidence. Where did that come from?
My dad being a coach is big. He played point guard when he was younger, and he's always just taught me that just stay calm and try to control the pace of the game, especially as point guard. Don't let your team, don't let yourself get out of control when the game's getting high speeds, or don't let yourself get too low when things aren't going well, and just control the pace.
As you reflect, I know this is a little bit of a weird year. There's no gold ball to play for, but you've been a part of some pretty special runs with this program. Obviously, last season ended in the Dome. A couple seasons, a couple trips to the Les Schwab Invitational. As you start to kind of look and take account of your time in this program, what are some of the most memorable moments?
Definitely nothing really beats going to the Dome. That's a real special moment, playing in that gym, in that environment against those top teams in the state. Knowing that you're one of them is just a thrill for sure. And then the Les Schwab was definitely a top tier moment, because that's a top tournament in the country that's recognized. So playing in there and competing at that level is just, it's great.
Coach, you've been able to have a solid starter and know that position is manned extremely well with Squeaky over the last few years. You've graduated a good group from a season ago, including your son Kyle, who's playing at Northwest Nazarene. Tell us a little bit about the other guys that are a big integral part of your program this year.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we did lose quite a few guys from last year. We lost 4 seniors who played a lot for us, but we had a good group of juniors that year who are now seniors, who all put in a lot of time and give Squeaky a lot of credit. Him and his senior group, they they met and played, and they found a gym that they could, once we got to a point where they could actually play in a gym, they found gyms that they could get into, even though our gym wasn't open. So, Mekhi Brooks, guard, who's probably our best freshman on the freshman team, best sophomore on the JV team. He's kind of led our team in scoring so far this year. Has done a really good job attacking the basket. And then, Cole Bain, who, was a backup post for us last year, started and played some really good minutes for us. And then, off our JV team, we had a young junior, Colton Looney, who's kind of stepped into kind of a leadership role in that class. And guys have just really kind of bought into what we've got going on. And I think a lot of that has to do with the leadership that we started a few years ago with guys like Cole Grossman and Alex Schumacher and Kyle Gruhler, and they've passed that stuff down. They've passed it to Squeeky, who's now showing those guys the ropes on what we expect in our program. And it makes my job a lot easier when I don't have to manage some of that stuff, when I've got senior leadership like I do. And I can see the next group of guys learning from him and getting ready to take their spot the next year.
Squeeky, last year when we did this media day, we asked similar questions to Kyle, but I want to put you on the spot a little bit. You have been under and played for Coach Gruhler for a really long time, and you've probably understand. You guys, a lot can go unsaid. There's probably a really good mutual understanding, I would imagine. When you're in the flow of a game and you make a bad pass or bad read or something goes wrong within the team, what is something that coach does where when he does it, you go, oh man, we're in for it?
Definitely after, if you peek over after a bad play or something that was just really something, you'll see him he gives this look where he kind of looks down. He looks at the ground and kind of turns away so we can't see the emotion he's expressing, but like you get the gist of it.
Can we see that look, Kyle?
It's hard to Squeaky's probably seen it, but he hasn't seen it as much as some other guys, for sure. I probably, that's one of the nice things about Squeaky. He takes care of the ball. It's usually those turnovers that make me give those looks the most. So I don't know that I can do it without properly being frustrated, but luckily for Squeaky, he hasn't had to see it quite as much as other guys, as he's been, our leader and assist in our whole school history, as well as somebody who's led our team in assist to turnover ratio for a long time. So I don't know that I can do it justice right now. I'm sure if you tune into our game against Battleground tomorrow, you'll definitely see that, or any of these games. It comes out quite a bit, though.
Well, you have a matchup coming up against Battleground, and we interviewed that program yesterday, Manny Mello and Kaden Perry. What do you guys need to do to take away Kaden Perry on the inside? Because we talked to Heritage, his head coach, Nathan Younger, as well, and he had rave reviews about Kaden, as has everybody that we've spoken with as well this year.
Our strategy we talked about was we just pray and just hope he's just not gonna, that's all. Just hope. Luckily, or maybe he doesn't touch it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. The best we can do is try to make things as difficult as possible on him, make him work as hard as he can. He's committed himself, I can tell on the film, to really playing defense more traditionally. I think he's been able to kind of sag and be around the basket, protect the basket. That was something he's able to do. You can tell he's really working on being more of a big who's going to head screens and do things like that. So if that's going to happen, then we've got to get him into those actions and kind of try to wear him down. But realistically, there's not a whole lot that we're going to be able to do to slow down Kaden Perry. We're just going to hope that we can do enough to stay in the ball game and pull it out at the end.
Well, I like the breakdown, and myself being from Southwest Washington, I know how good the basketball is down here. And so I have always appreciated following programs down here. I know you guys do a tremendous job. Last question before I let you guys both go. Lots of downtime during this pandemic. I'm sure you watched a lot of game film at college and NBA level to, improve your craft, Squeaky, as well as Kyle, to find different nuggets that you can implement with your program. But there's been lots of downtime for movies. Give me the best movie that you watched over the last 14 months or so, and then your best or favorite sports movie of all time.
Squeak, do you know yours?
Coach, you can go first.
Well, so my favorite sports movie of all time, I watch Hoosiers at the beginning of every season, right before trials start. I don't know if it's necessarily, my favorite. It's definitely my favorite. I watch it every year, every time, right before tryouts. So that's definitely got to be my favorite. Probably the best thing I watched. I don't know if it counts, but I watched The Last Dance. That was during the pandemic, early in the pandemic. I definitely needed it at that time because I wasn't going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere at that time. And The Last Dance with that Jordan documentary was definitely the best thing that I watched. I mean, a little bit longer than a movie, I guess. So I don't know if that's the legal answer or not. Unfortunately, I don't watch a lot of movies, so I was more a documentary guy. That was one I probably watched twice. So that one definitely got me through the beginning of that pandemic. That was just tough.
Squeaky, before you go, Coach, would you believe it if we said that you're not the only coach who said Hoosiers?
I know. I would bet most guys my age probably. That's probably right up there with got to be most of the guys my age and older. So,
a great choice.
Squeaky, what do you got?
For basketball movie, either White Man Can't Jump or Coach Carter.
Nice.
And I don't even remember really what came out during quarantine that I liked.
It's been so long.
The pandemic is just drug on. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
It feels like normal life now. This is what's normal.
Well, I appreciate both of you guys. You can't go wrong with any of the movies that you guys mentioned, but I will say this, Kyle, The Last Dance, I think I'm on my 4th or 5th time watching that again. Each time I watch it, I learn something new about just the competitive drive of Michael Jordan. And I think the student athletes of this day and age can learn so much from watching that. So Squeaky, you got to get that on your to watch list if you haven't seen it yet. So thank you guys for joining. I wish you guys nothing but the best of health and luck the rest of the season. And for the SBLive Washington crew, he's Andy Buehler and I'm Dan Dickow.
Thank you.
Thank you.